Hello, everyone. Here we are live with an excellent panel of guests and co-hosts to recap 2025, the year in Svengoolie. I am Mr. C. We are here diving in. Let's work around. Storgoolie, Michaela, welcome to our year-end show.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to close out 2025 with all of you tonight.
Working around the boxes, at least the way they're appearing on my screen. Ladies and gentlemen, we present to you the silver screen reflector man, Chris Hamby. Welcome, Chris.
Oh, thank you, Chris. Thank you, Michaela. Thank you, Nanette. Thank you, everyone. It's an honor to be here with all of you on this wonderful Svengology end of the year showcase.
Appreciate you saying so, and absolutely, Nanette. Welcome back once more, my frequent collaborator, my co-attender of events, Svengoolie related. Great to have Nanette here on the screen, here in the show with us.
Thanks, Mr. C. Thanks, Christopher. Thanks, Michaela. I'm looking forward to diving into the end of the year with Svengoolie.
And here we go. Let's clear our comments. Let's attend to our comments, and then we'll get right into our material. Daniel M. is saying that's a great pick, Mr. C. I think Daniel's referring to the thumbnail, and so that was my holiday loot here, the vintage 1995 edition of the I am way younger Rich Coase in just elevating his prime on the WCIU pre-me TV circuit. Moving on, Fanboy Cantina drops in a very traditional let's go. We might approach this question later, favorite Sven movie, and have people accepted the Sven squad. We will revisit these questions as we go, but we wanted to get to Hallmark events that had come and gone in the Svengoolie cycle of 2025. Now, in our last bit, and it's been a good while since we've come around. In our last bit, Nanette and I were speaking on the highlights of the flashback weekend. And so now here we are, everything post-flashback to now. In other words, if you're looking for the highlights of earlier from 2025, those videos exist. I may even make a playlist. I'm not always good about posting in the description of links to things, but I definitely just linked Silver Screen Reflections in the description. And Michaela, coming to you now, we definitely just linked your appearance. So previously, you had been on a separate TV game show, and the host for that previous show what's the name of that host?
Melissa Kierman, who is the host of Person, Place, or Thing.
Person, Place, or Thing. Oh, and we're dropping again. Daniel M says, good to see you guys. Danny, is that you from Reddit, or is this a different Daniel? All Daniels are welcome. All commenters are welcome. Okay, so that was cool enough on its own merit, because there you were, positioning yourself, having the skill set. It is Danny from Reddit. Perfect. Good to be all together. You're already positioning yourself on one game show, but then that wasn't the ceiling. That wasn't the max out. That wasn't the final destination. You went ahead and tell us what was the other game show that you landed on, or rather the not the game show, but this time, but it was a game within a show. What was the show that you made the appearance on?
Well, a few months ago, I was a trivia caller for Live with Kelly and Mark.
Ooh. Live with Kelly and Mark, formerly Regis and Kathy, then Regis and Kelly, and many permutations over time. Let me see if I can successfully go the route of share screen, like here. I don't want to hit the remove. Let's see if I'm all right. We'll just keep the screen as it is for now. So because I watched the clip. A lot of us. Chris, did you see the clip of Michaela on the TV show?
Unfortunately, I missed it.
Well, good thing we found the link that we can publish it for you again.
Nice.
Danny saying that's right. It is the old Regis program. That's why the link is there. Nanette, were you able to see Michaela in all Storgoolie in all her glory on the Kelly and Mark show?
Yes, after she posted it, I watched it. I think I was at work. And nobody cares if I'm watching stuff at work. So that was great. Very good.
Thank you.
So Michaela, now that it's already established in your Svengoolie resume, if you will, that you've had many art submissions onto the big broadcast. And now maybe you are unique in your position that you've been on 2 different television shows speaking on Svengoolie related material. If anybody else has achieved this, then it's beyond my knowledge. So maybe you have, again, a unique niche in how you're expressing your Svengoolie fandom. Can you tell us what was your experience then as a call-in segment person on the show?
Oh man. At 7:45 in the morning on September 22nd, I was watching Tune In With Me that morning, and then I got a call from a New York area code number, and I got on my phone, and then I got a call from someone from Live with Kelly and Mark, and my mind was blown. And the first call was to go over the rules of the game, and went over my 2 statements. One's true, one's not true, and went over and all that. And then around 8:30, we went over the statements again and the rules again. And then 10 minutes till 9 in the morning, I got a call from the show again to make sure that I was preparing everything. One of the sound guys made sure that I hear the call clearly and everything so I can hear the show good. And then I hear the first part of the show, which is their host chat. And they take about like 12 or so minutes to talk about like news and everything like that. And then the sound guy before my segment makes sure that I was ready to go, and we went through the segment from there.
Man. And now you name dropped Svengoolie like with a surgical precision. Like, I don't know if it was humanly possible to get the word Svengoolie at a more frequent rate than what you did. Was that kind of pre-planned? You just, before you went in, you're like, I'm going to say Svengoolie as many times as possible? Or did it just kind of flow in a spontaneous way once you were live on their show?
Oh, yes. Once you say the word Svengoolie on TV, everyone knows Svengoolie. And I, during the first call, I talked about what I was about to say about my 2 statements and everything. And once I want to go live, I talked about Svengoolie in my statements. And the live audience for that specific day, they had no idea who Svengoolie was. And I completely am shocked that even the live audience learned a little thing or 2 about Svengoolie during my segment.
I wouldn't be surprised if the show viewers, if the Twitter or X followers, if the Blue Sky followers for Svengoolie increased after you getting out. Now, did MeTV cut you a check for public relations service?
Well, just a few months after I got my appearance, I got a little surprise package in the mail, which I have the back package here.
Please show away. Let me see if we can.
Which is a box.
Nice.
Which is a huge box of Svengoolie merchandise. So
Nice.
I'll open it up real quick, just showing some commandments, but I'm not going to show like all of them.
Excellent. Okay.
So I got like a few beanies,
Just a few.
a Sven hat, some socks, a bobblehead, and I got a little bit of a note from them that says, Michaela, thank you so much for playing our game. We have some swag that we thought you would appreciate. Have a great day live with Kelly and Mark.
Nice.
And I got other buttons, like a little like tumbler, and yeah, so I was completely surprised by Svengoolie and MeTV send all of this stuff to me.
Yeah, super, super cool that they did that. I absolutely agree. Chris, Nanette, do you have any questions for Storgoolie about her experience and her time being on the Kelly and Mark show?
That is just really cool that you were able to do that. So congrats, and also spreading the word about Svengoolie. So that is an awesome thing to do.
Thank you so much. And for stumping Mark, I got a Kelly and Mark mug for free.
Nice.
As you
And
should.
I'm currently wearing this I stumped Mark shirt.
Oh, all right.
And this is an
Nice.
exclusive item. You can't purchase this. This is for people who stumped Mark.
Perfect.
And Michaela,
That's
before we
And
switch
then-
over, so go ahead.
And then just after that I did the segment live, I checked my social media accounts on X, and then Svengoolie really shocked me and he said, I've been warned that there's a mention of Svengoolie on Kelly and Mark in the first half hour. I actually commented and saying I did give him a mention. So, yep. Social media really knew my appearance.
Nice.
Excellent. And Chris, I'm coming to you in just a
Excellent,
second, so
Michaela.
be ready. And Chris, I'm going to ask you about your history, your 10 years worth of blogging. But before I pitch that question to you, Mr. Hamby, Michaela, could you recap so the other way, 2 truths and a lie is kind of what you're doing. So what were your statements and what was the false statement and what was the true statement?
All right. My true statement was my artwork was featured on 4 horror shows. So Svengoolie was one of them. My art was on The Last Drive-In with Joe Bob Riggs, was on The Mummy and the Monkeys Harry Scary Hangout, and Sally the Zombie Cheerleader. And the false statement was I have a large collection of horror memorabilia.
See, and I remember watching.
One unique thing about the Stump Mark segment is they have an audience member to like help with like the second opinion and everything. And the person that I had for my segment was Stacy stepped in from Boca Raton, Florida. So if Stacy's watching, hi. And she actually helped Mark decide which statement is true. And yeah, it was a pretty unique and cool experience.
I had fun watching it, and great, and I'm glad that you were able to have that. Again, I think in a class by herself, definitely representing the fandom and a contribution to the Sven Pals verse in a way that other people have not had the opportunity or have not had the inclination or capacity. So, Mr. Hamby, I come to you. Some months
Yes,
ago,
Chris.
it marked the 10-year, I was about to say 10-month, but that would have been absolutely the wrong one. 10-year anniversary. 10-year anniversary of Silver Screen Reflections. So can we at the onset, if you can take us back in time for the journey a bit, what were your thoughts or what were you hoping to accomplish 10 years ago when you were doing your first blog or your first blogs recapping the Svengoolie movie that was coming on that week?
Well, Chris, Michaela, Nanette, Fanboy, and Daniel, and everyone who's watching, back in September of 2015, that was when Silver Screen Reflections started. It was originally a class, an online journalism class blog that I started during my time at Hood College in Frederick, Maryland. And then I decided after the semester ended, because it didn't necessarily start as primarily a Sven classic film blog, and I'm thinking, what should I do with this Silver Screen Reflections blog? And I'm thinking, and from that point on, after that semester ended in the fall, at the conclusion of 2015, I decided when it started, of course, it started in September 2015, I said, I'm going to make it an exclusive Sven classic film blog. And since joining the social media airlines, I've met you, Nanette, and you, Michaela, and you, Chris, and then everyone on there. You all, I'm glad you've all been interested in my many classic film articles related to the Sven's classic film showcases.
So 10 years worth is a lot of blog entries to make. I say, are there things that are similar now compared to when you first started? Are there things that are different now compared to when you first started in your preparation or in your experience of blogging?
Well, Chris, the only additive that I've added since the creation of Silver Screen Reflections was adding That is, if the film played locally in the area or regionally in the area, all the newspaper advertisements for the film in connection to the film that Sven is showing for the week. So it's kind of an interesting to look at what figure may have played that film back then if it was released theatrically. So that's
Excellent. All right, and just again noteworthy that Danny, aka Hollow09, is saying it's outstanding. Chris,
thank you, Danny.
He remains an avid fan of you and your work. Do you have, apart from your blog itself, do you have any other 2025 highlights of being a Sven fan in general that you care to comment on at this time?
Well, Chris, besides the 10th anniversary, Chris, Michaela, Nanette, Danny, and Fanboy, and everyone who's watching, besides the 10th anniversary of Silver Screen Reflections, I got this interesting tidbit from Sventa over the holidays. I'm just going to try to write one of the new Sven T-shirts from the official MeTV online store as a surprise holiday gift, featuring Sven's classic 1995 WCIU publicity photo right here. So that's kind of a 10th anniversary.
Nice.
It's a similar facial expression on your
Nanette.
shirt and on my shirt, but like one is a variant. Or they're not identical.
Neat.
So that's again great minds think alike, or Sven fan minds think alike, or something in that kind of a territory. Good stuff.
Thanks, Chris.
All right,
Yeah.
Michaela, do you have any questions for Mr. Hamby before we move on to coming in and featuring some of the live events that had transpired?
Well, I don't have any questions.
Yes, Michaela.
But I'm really excited to see what the future of the blog has for you.
Ooh.
Well stated.
Well, I highly appreciate that, Michaela. And there'll be more morning store next year.
Yay.
All right,
Yeah,
now
thank you.
creepy
Nanette.
curator.
Mhm.
Nanette, sometimes we're
I
in
know.
the autograph line together. Sometimes we're walking a convention floor together, be it at a C2E2 or be it at a flashback. Other times there are solo flights. So just briefly, at Sven's first ever appearance in character at the Field Museum, I took a solo flight at that time. And it just, again, anytime you can interact with Sven, Rich Coase in the autograph line or in any capacity in appearance is a cool thing. But now you had two major Hallmark events right close together in time. The Nightmare on Chicago Street in Elgin, not Berwyn, and also the Volo, not the Auto Museum anymore, but now just the Volo Museum. Which one did you want to speak on first?
I think I'll go chronologically. That would be Nightmare on Chicago Street. This year they offered a chance. It costs a little bit more to get in an hour earlier. So I decided to go for that. Hubby and his buddy came later, but I got in an hour earlier. So that was nice. This time I was able to actually walk around and take photos. I usually don't have that time because I'm running to get in line for Svengoolie. But this time I was able to, walk around, take photos. And they gave me one ticket for a free drink. And I was like, okay, this is good. But I'm like, I'm designated driver for this. So I'm like, when I went and it was like in this little upstairs creepy little, Halloween themed thing that I talked to a doctor and he, decided on this one drink. And I'm like, can you make it as weak as possible? So they did. And thank goodness, even then, to me, it was still a little bit more than I should have had. But otherwise, that was the preamble. And then I got and stood in line. And a few minutes after I started standing in line, Warner showed up with a little doll that he had fashioned into a little Svengoolie. And it was really cute. So he had him sign that. But yeah, I'm really happy that I kind of did that 1 hour earlier thing because then I was able to not worried that I was not going to be in line. But when I did see him, I gave him a skeleton pop-up, which I think is on the site. And I told him what it was for, because at first he goes, "Oh, this is really cool," and I said, "Yeah, you'd be surprised. A person who was a chiropractor asked for that, so I gave him one. It never sold, so I'm like, well, I know someone who would really appreciate a skeleton pop-up, so I slapped a tombstone mustache on it and gave it to him." And then later he showed it on the show, so I was really happy about that.
We know I'm a fan of Tombstone and Tombstone's mustache as well. Excellent
Yes.
art choice. And then when I saw the pop-up appear on the show, which in recent, I can't say what exact week it was, but it was recent. I was like, oh, there it is. That's what it's all about. As Michaela knows, having an item show up in the mail segment is an excellent experience and feeling to have. So like I said, I'll somewhat use the same question structure. You've attended more than just one or two nightmare events now. Are there things that were consistent through lines from the previous ones to now? Was there something different about this most recent one or different for you compared to your previous outings into Elgin?
I will say this, each year they introduce a new theme, but they keep the old themes. A few years back, they had like a high school marching band that was all supposed to be zombies. They keep that. Then they add, this year was like a alien zombie type thing. So they add that. So they just keep adding these themes. And you think, oh, they're going to do away with one of them. No, they just keep adding and adding. And it's really great how they put it all together. And I will say it attracts a lot of people, and it's a fun time. I really enjoy going.
Excellent. And now the way we used to do these shows, and I'm saying we'll never do it that way again, but that was prior to finding the Svengoolie community on Reddit. So now, again, we can sometimes still show pictures here, but I want to encourage people to click onto Silver Screen's reflections and see the actual content there. And similarly, I want to encourage people to, whether they join or not, and you're welcome, all are welcome to join. I would encourage people to stop in the Svengoolie subreddit to see photos from the live events, to see Michaela's art, to see Nanette's art. And here comes, speaking of Reddit, here comes Danny with your pictures were awesome, Nanette. Thank you for posting them in the space. See how it all comes together. You were fortunate that guys live local enough. Absolutely. All right, so that covers one of the major things. Now moving on to Volo. And again, since Volo kind of changed its format, and right, so that's a thing that changes over time. Volo and other things, they've tried to be more specific or more regulated on the tickets, less free for all. And I believe part of the reason for that, again, going back to my first Volo appearance, was that when Rich Coves is scheduled to be there for an hour and a half or 2 hours, and then the line was so long as such that he ends up spending the full day because he does not want to disappoint an autograph seeker or a fan or somebody that wanted that fist bump interaction at the meeting table. It makes sense that these things had to become more timestamp specific to being able to enter the experience. But so I was not at Volo this year. Nanette, you were. Walk us through what did we miss, or what were your highlights of Volo 2025?
I had never been to Volo before, so I had no idea how huge it was. And I got there roughly right when it opened, even though I wasn't going to see him until I was scheduled at noon. I will say this, they had signs that kind of snaked all through the thing saying, he's here. No, he's here. And it was like, I guess I'm going the right way. I'm not too sure, but I finally found it. I got there an hour, like at about 11 o'clock, I bumped into Mike, who I've seen a few times at different places, including C2E2. So I sat and talked with him for quite a while. And then we got in line. My thing was at noon, and I'm thinking it was like, didn't I just see you like last week or something like that? But I did get this signed, and he thought the Sven Park thing was kind of cute. So I'm glad that he liked that.
The South Park style.
Nice, yeah.
South Park, Sven Park, though. I got a little batch chasing the kids. But that's me. And they, because of the scheduled type thing, to pay more, I did also get a free T-shirt.
Ooh, nice.
And I was really happy that it was Joe Staten's artwork.
Ooh. So
I was really happy with that. But that was cool. And let's see. It's funny how many people you end up bumping into that you've seen at other places. Like I said, I bumped into Mike. Afterwards, I was wandering around. I bumped into Chris Faulkner, and I believe Credo. Talked to them a little bit because he was saying, oh, usually they have them in this building, but they put them in this building this time. So that it was kind of interesting to talk, to them and to see things through their eyes. And then later I bumped into Ron and Angela. So I think I spent another, it's funny, I was going to leave right after the thing, but then I ended up hanging out with all these other people. And actually Angela came running after me because they were watching the Rockafire Explosion band playing. And I was starting to head towards the exit, and Angela comes running up to me and goes, Nanette. I turned around. Like I said, we talked for about an hour there because they were standing in line afterwards. But I will say I kind of like, now I've never been to one of the bolos before, and I know that the line can go on for a long time, kind of like at C2E2. I kind of liked having that designated time. So that was nice. I will say that. I did enjoy that.
For those of us who are not familiar with the grounds of Volo and not familiar with the history of Showbiz Pizza Place, there were animatronic singing performers, which now there is a set of, a group of at the Volo grounds. So just as it was in the 80s and maybe into the 90s, even the Showbiz Pizza Place robots, if you will, or animatronic performing robots. Anyway, and then also just to expand, so the Chris Faulkner is the program director on staff with the Svengoolie. Credo is one of the sound people, and then Angela and Ron are frequent Sven event attenders and major Sven fans in their own right.
Oh, and always a shout out to Jim Roach, because as soon as he sees you, he makes you feel very welcome. And every time he's like, I swear sometimes he wants to say, you again?
Yeah. Again, Jim is masterful at his craft because he maintains that hospitality with just the right blend of light sarcasm and wants to, keep good hospitality, I'm trying to say, for people who are waiting in line for an extended amount of time. So, and again, which brings me to, I look forward to the day for either or both of Storgoolie or Chris Hamby arriving at any of these appearances, maybe a C2E2, maybe a flashback or what have you. I look forward to that. In a second, I'm going to come back to Fanboy Cantina's questions, but I also want to highlight, if Danny's still here, Dan, we have the hotline number scrolling across the bottom of the screen, and let me get that text message. So the hotline phone is right here for anybody that wants to call in and contribute.
We don't call in.
Call now.
Today we've only had one caller, whoever called in, and that's Junkyard. I have been to Volo with Junkyard. I have seen Warner, and again, credit to Warner for being a top Sven fan. I have seen Warner at Volo a couple of times. I'll come back to anyway. Let's jump to Fanboy Cantina's questions. So Question number one. Let's go to Nanette first, and she's in the top box. Did you have a favorite Sven movie in the year of 2025, Nanette?
I'm going to say it's a draw between Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, because
Oh.
I've never seen that, and Dracula Has Risen from the Grave, because I saw that when I was in grade school, and it was an after-school experience, and they showed the movie, and I still wonder who looked at the movie and thought, yeah, let's show this to a bunch of 7th graders, because I was like, well, this is a lot of fun, but then I'm like, kind of people yelling and screaming, and guys just because of the plunging necklines on the women, and it was just, it was a lot. It brought back memories of that particular evening.
Chris Hamby, of all the movies you've written of in the calendar year of 2025, did you have a favorite Sven movie or a short list of favorites?
Well, Chris, Nanette, and Michaela, and everyone watching, it so hard to pick the many wonderful Sven films that have been shown so far, and along with the new ones that have been shown as exclusives to the year of 2025. Alongside what you said earlier, Nanette, of Dracula Has Risen from the Grave and Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, I have to say I'll pick mine besides those two, one of my many favorites, Mel Brooks's classic mammoth 20th Century Fox monster comedy masterpiece, Young Frankenstein, or Frankenstein.
Yes.
Yes.
Go ahead, Michaela. Jump in. You had some happiness and excitement right there. Don't let me stand in the way of your commentary, Michaela. Did you speak on Young Frankenstein?
Okay, so Young Frankenstein's one of the films, but a few of them that are like in now my favorites that are like had in mind was I did watch some parts of the film because sometimes I normally get to bed most of the time. So whenever I don't able to watch, I got it recorded on my DVR. So I'll record it, I can watch the whole show on Saturday nights or the day after or the following days of the upcoming week. But I have to say some of my favorite films from this year are I did see some. So The Bad Seed is one of my few favorite films
Yes.
I like to watch this year. And I have to say, Whatever Happened to Baby Jane and Arachnophobia, I did see some parts of they're pretty good.
I'm still surprised that the Whatever Happened to Baby Jane, because it's a tense movie, and I was surprised.
Right.
But it was very good, and I'm sitting there watching, and I know I've seen it before, and I'm like, how does this end? Oh yeah, it ends like that. I'm like, oh, okay. No spoilers.
Yes.
All right, we have a new question here, so I'm going to pause the other Fanboy Cantina question. So this is animals. Oh man. Okay, so I'll just go with animals for short. Do you have a least favorite of 2025? Again, Nanette, let's start with you. And if that's not applicable, if that's not an existing category for you, that's fine. Did you have a least favorite 2025 film?
I don't know. I'll be honest. I did not watch Arachnophobia, but I feel bad because I would say that would have been it, but I didn't watch it, so I can't really. No, I don't know which is my least favorite. Sorry.
That's quite all right. Chris Hamby, same question to you. Was there a least favorite? Does that category exist for you?
Ooh, I'm kind of on the same wavelength as Nanette here on this question, Chris. So that.
Very good. Michaela, Miss Storgoolie, was there a least favorite, or that doesn't apply to the way you view the show?
Well, I don't have any least favorites as well.
All right. Danny Hollow jumped in, not a fan of the bug movies. So that would include ants and tarantulas and grasshoppers from the other
Wow.
one. Maybe it was a mantis or a grasshopper. Anyway, the 50s era giant monsters doesn't land well in the Hyper Hollow, and that's okay. LOL. Very good. Very good. All right, now let me bring us back up to the earlier question from Fanboy G. Have people finally accepted the Sven squad? Let's stick to the same order, or I'll get lost and I won't know who I'm asking the questions or where I've left off. And what do you think, for whatever your view of public perception is, have people accepted the Sven squad or not so much in certain regards?
I think people are. I do see occasional comments, but I think they're doing. I think they're doing good. You know, considering they're kind of were brought in as a separate kind of thing, but I've always that's showing my age here. I've always been a fan of Bill Leff anyway, because of back in the day listening to him and Wendy on the radio, and then seeing him on Tune In With Me, and of course nostalgia for Atu, the comments that he makes, especially the one where he said that he was Dinah Shore's boy toy, which just made me laugh so hard because I remember Dinah Shore. And once again, Burt Reynolds was her boy toy. So I think that's decent good company.
Right.
So I'll say yes.
Chris, before I come to you, let me realize I wasn't trying to dodge the question myself, but let me say, so I don't have a specific least favorite. However, to be honest, it's not necessarily guaranteed that 100% of the shows I will watch. So, for example, last week by the current NFL season, I chose to watch the live Bears game most recently, but then a lot of times I will go back and pick up the Sven episode as reported by Friendly, but yeah, sometimes I do miss. So, but I don't have a specific direct least favorite. But now, Chris, come to you. What is the question? Oh, you're see, your take on the Sven squad and the public reception of the Sven squad.
Well, to add on to what Nanette mentioned, I think they have grown actually. The new Sven squad trio has grown on the Sven community. Along with especially Bill Leff's nostalgia for Ratu character. Now, may I ask you this question? Chris disappeared. Wasn't nostalgia, and Michaela, feel free to jump in too. Wasn't nostalgia for Ratu originally on Tune In With Me before he was on Sven and added to the Sven squad?
Yes.
Well, actually, yes.
Yes, he was.
I like the way you did that, Michaela. Actually, yes. And then let me take this second to add, Michaela, as I was listing the different varieties or different places that you've appeared. So your artwork has also been featured on the morning show segment on Me TV. I shouldn't forget to include that. It's just again, quite honestly, I'm very rare to catch that show, but it's a worthy show all the same. And so to bring it back to Chris, so Nostalgia for Atu made his backdoor pilot, if you will, to show up there. And again, as Nanette said, it's magnificent to catch Leff and Coes do their banter together.
Yes.
So Michaela, same question. In your neck of the woods, Michaela, in your comings and goings as Storgoolie, what is the word on the street for the acceptance level toward the Sven squad?
Well, in the past few years since the Sven squad made its debut, I really think that people are now starting to accept it and starting to now appreciate more what they do. And yeah, so they now get more love and appreciation for them and everything. And yeah, as long as we get more love and appreciation for them, they will keep on growing.
Agree. All right. Does anybody, I have now looking forward to the future, to the calendar year 2026. I'll pitch some questions that way. But before we forecast to the future, does anyone have any additional 2025 comments or something you didn't yet get to say as we sit here tonight regarding participating in the Sven community in 2025?
Looking forward to C2E2 this what is it, end of March, early April. So that I'm looking forward to that. That's usually a lot of fun. So
Nice.
All right, so this is obviously not a hard press question, but to our two younger panelists of the night, Chris Hamby, I go to you first. Is there any probability that 2026 will be the year you will make it to a Sven event, or that's to be determined? Too early to comment on that.
Well, Chris and Michaela, at this time, it's kind of too early to tell at the point. I love to visit you all in Chicago / Berwyn for a future Sven event one of these days, but because I have to take care of my father, with his health issues at the current moment. So hopefully if I get around in the future, I hope to join you all for a future Sven event in the future.
All right, Michaela, same question to you. Too early to tell, or is the Storgoolie meter starting to level up towards the possibility of a live appearance?
Well, in the next few years or so, my mom is going to plan on me to go to a future Svengoolie appearance in the near future in the next few years. So I'm really looking forward to the day in the next few years to go to this appearance. So I'm really excited to look forward to that.
Excellent. All right. And just let me close out my 2025 highlights, and then let's keep on more 26. As Nanette and Michaela are well aware, so I had my first appearance on the mail-in segment, and again via JSpy 25 for the design work on the lab equipment, which doesn't show very clearly in this size and format, but it's also right here behind me. And that goes back to my first Volo experience with JSpy getting a signature, but that's it feels really good to be part of the community. It feels really good to see your stuff and make it to the mail-in segment. All right, so Chris, let me ask you, is there any specific movie that you would hope to see as a new release into either Svengoolie or House of Svengoolie in the coming calendar year?
Ooh, that's a good question, Chris, and it's kind of hard to decide. But depending on the film syndication contracts that Sven has, or for the House of Sven, one movie that I would like to see in the future, and depending on the syndication contracts from the studios or syndicators, would be this a Universal biopic on the senior Wang Qingyi, portrayed by James Cagney, Man of a Thousand Faces. That's one I would like to see in the future.
I had never connected the dots
possible.
with that and a Svengoolie airing, but I'm glad you said that. That would be absolutely magnificent. Michaela, same question to you. Are there any specific films that have yet to make it to the big broadcast that you would appreciate or enjoy seeing Svengoolie or House of Svengoolie present?
Well, I don't have any specific films, but I'm really looking forward to see the new films that are coming up next year.
Very good. Nanette, to you, it's the same question.
I would love to see some of the older. Years ago, he showed like the movie The Twonky. Yeah, go look at that. Go find that thing.
Yes.
And, the People Under the Stairs he had shown years ago. Dracula meets McLeod from back, the old Dennis Weaver character. I would love to see some of those older, kind of off kind of movies to see on his show. It would be fun to relive those.
And this, for my answer to my own question, this might be as a white whale, a rare thing, as we can see right here, referencing the McDougall's House of Horrors out of Abbott and Costello, Meet Frankenstein. And it was from when we heard at the panel that Young Frankenstein was going to be broadcast, I was just in constant anticipation from that moment until it finally aired. So in that same route, my top horror comedies in my own estimation include Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein, include Young Frankenstein, and this might be a stretch because it's a very recent film, but on the relative scale, very recent. But Ghostbusters to me would be a top flight film So that would
Yeah.
be my wish list item for cover.
That would be wonderful.
Right.
All right, I'll pitch one more time to the hotline. Danny, are you still out there? 773-693-5493. Make the phone ring. We'll go to speakerphone. It's always a neat feature to have a call-in hotline. Also, anybody out there who's watching, feel free to pop the hotline number.
Phone is
right
way
now.
over there. Uh-oh.
Yeah. Call us.
Oh,
All right. In absence of the hotline phone ringing, I want to start to wind down and then thank everybody. Again, Nanette, as always, it is of great importance, be it here or through Reddit. Again, putting the pitch for people to for people to pop by the Svengoolie subreddit. But your contributions to the community remain top flight, and it's great to have you around. Chris, I come to you and say again, as a blogger and as a fan, as a T-shirt wearer of Svengoolie merchandise. Hang on now. Hang on.
Okay.
Let me go to speakerphone.
What do we have, Chris?
We are on the hotline.
Hey, it's Danny.
Danny, let me.
Oh,
Hi, Danny.
Hi, Dan.
I'm going to keep it so your number doesn't show up on the screen, Danny. But let me get. Danny is the.
Yeah, that would be terrific. Thank you.
Danny is the senior moderator of the Svengoolie Reddit group. Danny, great to hear your voice here as we're winding down the 2025 events. So, Danny, here.
Excellent. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays.
Yeah.
And Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Happy
Happy
holidays.
holidays, Danny.
Now, Danny, let's go. Same questions to you, pal, as we're winding down this show, as well as we're winding down 2025. Did you have a specific? Go. Did you have a specific 2025 highlight for you that stood out?
Yeah, but wow, like all that, yeah, definitely Young Frankenstein, because it was, a Mel Brooks, I mean, usually we're used to movies from like, not like Mel Brooks, on Svengoolie.
Yeah.
And the squad, like all the movies with the Sven squad were terrific.
Right. So
yeah, absolutely, a great addition to Saturday nights, even if it is once a month.
Right, and so there is a range of influences from your classic Universal pictures of your black and white monsters, and then you have your 50s sci-fi business. Also, you have your Hammer Studios, you have your Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, Mystery Science Theater overlap. But yeah, absolutely, Young Frankenstein was a welcome addition. Danny,
yeah, absolutely. And Duel too. I was going to say Duel was tremendous. It's a classic movie for Saturday. I'm glad that he doesn't. This one it ran like a few years ago, so seeing it every few years is great. It's a great Saturday night movie. I enjoyed it. That was probably the most I enjoyed. In a while with the. I enjoy it every Saturday night, but this one was really it's shot very well, and it's a Spielberg film too, which is tremendous. Good to know. And anything you're looking forward to or hoping for in calendar year 2026 related to the Svengoolie verse? Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to you guys get out to the to these events. The Comic-Con. All of his events and the pictures that go up, we look forward to that, to seeing that throughout the year. And you guys get the scoop, you get the scoop on what's coming up. Where, when we heard from you guys, Young Frankenstein, that was the first time we heard of it. Tremendous. Looking forward to 2026 and all of Chris Hamby's blogs.
Oh, thank you, Danny.
I mean, your research is, it's off the charts.
Oh.
It's phenomenal.
Oh,
I
really
wanted to
appreciate
ask
that, Danny.
I meant to ask you the last time, like you lost the signal for a brief period there, and I know that must have been difficult for you because you were a daily tweeter. Back when
Yeah, that well.
I don't know if you're still on.
Well,
Yeah,
I've migrated to the Blue Sky Airlines now, Danny. So, because well, we know how Twitter has kind of fallen into the garbage dumpster now. So,
Right,
so,
right.
yeah, and
Yeah, I haven't been on Twitter in a while. I wasn't sure if you were still doing that, but I mean, then to get it back, I mean, get the signal back. I mean, there was a happy ending to the story, but you were kind of left there in the dark for a brief period. What was that like?
well, that was during. I kind of took a hiatus from Silver Screen Reflections back around November, back around 2024. That's when my father started having his numerous health problems, and then my mother died in early November of 2024. That's when I took a break. That's why I wasn't around for quite a while. So
Well, it's good to see you're still at it, man.
oh, thank you, Danny. I'm glad you all appreciate my Silver Screen Reflections blog and Sven Fun Facts and everything.
And Chris,
Right.
I say this right. It's us. And then again, we were doing your counter. You were up to 95,000 total views, 97,000 total views, and now you've well exceeded. You're probably on the way to 125.
I haven't
know
checked
maybe
in.
115-ish right now, but again, many people have viewed your blog over the 10 years,
Right.
and yeah. Again, over the course of 10 years, we're all going to have things where our personal life calls for a different focus. So,
yeah, absolutely.
Right.
for doing both, taking a pause when it's the right time, and for resuming the hobby when it's the right time.
Right.
All right.
Yeah, and it was great to see Storgoolie. Like she would post the clips, like what you guys were talking about earlier with it being on the talk show, the morning talk show. That was terrific. So that's I just wanted to say thank you guys for posting that stuff throughout the year. It really is, it gives somebody. I'm from New Jersey, so it gives somebody like me and a lot of other people the ability to see this stuff. And Mr. C for the show, for the entertainment. Thank you guys. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, guys.
Happy New Year to you.
Happy New
Thank
Year.
you.
Right back at you, Danny. Happy New Year.
I'm gonna pull the plug on Danny first here. Dan, but I super appreciate now you're our second ever caller for the show. A silver medal that you can carry for all eternity, sir. We'll see you soon on the subreddit. And thanks, Danny. All right. Let's go back up to the top. Nanette, any closing thoughts that you have as we're going to wind down our conversation this evening?
I'm just looking forward to 2026 and hopefully seeing a lot more Sven pals at all these Svengoolie events.
And Chris Hamby, any closing thoughts?
Well, Chris, I hope to continue Chris, Nanette, Michaela, Danny, and Fanboy and everyone watching, I hope to continue I will continue my Silver Screen Reflections Sven Classic Film blog in the new year and beyond, and hope to share many more of my classic film fun facts with you all. And I'm thankful for you all and grateful for you all for reading and enjoying Silver Screen Reflections. Let's hope for another 10 years.
Yes.
Let's hope for another 10 years is a beautiful way of saying it. Michaela, same question to you. Closing thoughts before we end our live stream here tonight.
All right. Well, I hope to continue to do more Svengoolie and / horror artwork coming up in 2026. Speaking of art, here's a sneak peek of my newest one.
Oh, here, let me switch you back up so we can give a full
Oh,
size.
yeah. Nice.
Oh, nice.
Again, Michaela, it's been great watching your art and your art evolve over time. I look forward to seeing that.
Ooh, that's fantastic.
Further realization, but as it stands right there, one could consider that a completed
And
work.
my
Oh.
newest completed art a few days ago.
Ooh,
Now you see them, now you don't.
Nice.
So stay tuned for more artwork coming up soon.
Will
Very
do,
nice.
Michaela.
All right, to all my guests and co-hosts, I thank you very much. Everybody stick around for a little minute here. I'm going to end stream. Chris, what is the name of the feature that's coming up tonight on the Svengoolie show?
Creation
on
of the
broadcast?
Humanoids. creation of
People who-
humanoids.
People who want to get into the philosophical issue of life and artificial intelligence and robotics and all that, do tune in to Svengoolie tonight. I'm going to close us out. Thanks everybody who came around, or anybody who didn't watch live but came back. Do check the description for the link to Silver Screens. Do check the description for the link to Michaela's appearance on the Kelly and Mark Show. See you real soon. Looking forward to 2026. And that is all for us tonight.